Welcome, everyone. I'm sure you'll be watching some TV tonight. Yeah, that's it's an iteration of the idea I had about the introduction of Talking Void, and because it's summer and the weather is great and everybody's on a vacation, I'm sure we'll have hundreds of people joining the channel to see what we're up to tonight. And the first thing I want to do is welcome my guest again, Erik.
Hi all.
Hi,
That's
hi,
my long introduction.
Yeah. So we've had a cycle by now, by which I mean everyone that's on the precipice of dreams has joined us. And now we have to see Erik's belly appear. Normally Michel was our first guest, but he's on a holiday, and so Erik is here to join me, which is great because I think that if there was anything to discuss about the last episode, Erik should have been my guest anyway. Although Michel is on his own adventure, but I don't know if I can talk about that yet, and we're still not quite sure of how we are going to do that. But anyway, before we go any further, let's go into the Void introduction, and it's just because it's so cool and so not on topic. So here we go. The intro. And at the end, there was a black screen. Oh, we're back, by the way, Erik.
Yes.
Here we go. So,
I'm looking myself.
oh yeah, okay, that's great. But then you have a 5-second delay. You know that, right?
Sorry, what did you say? Oh, I have a 5-second delay.
Yeah, well. Anyway, welcome back to Talking Void again. Before I forget about the whole social thing, we've got socials, and we've got quite a lot of them. We've got our Discord server, which is up and running and attracting millions of people already. There's great art by Erik, there's great art by Roger, there's other stuff to do, and we hope we can really build a community over there. We are on Twitter, but not that active, more to say that we are alive and such things, but it's a great community out there as well, and we hope to really connect with that community in some way. Then we of course have our Instagram, which might be our most prominent social, because there we share other things as well, and for example, Erik is sharing his personal stuff. I'm doing that as well. And with personal stuff, I of course mean drawings and everything, and not really personal stuff. Although we might in the end, and then we certainly take into consideration PG rating. Anyway, then we have our YouTubes and our Twitch. And please follow us, even if you, well, no, that's just follow us. That's what I want to say. Ask people in your surroundings to follow us as well, and hopefully they like us while they're doing it. And just click the YouTube like button and reply to our messages there. And please tell us what you think about everything. And of course, for every Talking Void, we want to know what kind of questions you have, and you can ask us questions, especially on Instagram and on YouTube, and we'll try to answer them in our next Talking Void. And about our next Talking Void, it will be after our next session of the Precipice of Dreams, and since in 1 week there will be no Precipice of Dreams, there will be no Talking Void and that's a big gap for 4 weeks. I'm saying that? Yeah, I'm saying
Yeah,
that right.
probably.
So that's when you do things bi-weekly. Skipping one means you're not on screen for a month. But the first show, probably, which will air again, is parallel projections with Michel and me doing stuff while playing Planescape Torment, discussing what's happening on the screen, because I'm a big lore geek when it comes to Planescape, and he is really into the game already, while we're still in our first level. So, well, that was me talking a lot, I think. I hope it was all comprehensive. I think I'm getting into this English kind of stuff. Still needing to find some words sometimes, because, well, it's not our native languages, as you all know by now. And since almost everybody in chat is Dutch and we're doing this in English, they know. Anyway, Erik, welcome to the show. How are you feeling?
Yeah. I'm good. How are you?
Well, I'm feeling quite well. I'm on a vacation holiday. I don't know, one of the two. I'm still at home, so I'm not somewhere else. It's still Corona, and even though I'm going to a camping, I will be entering a tent at a certain time. But for now, I'm still at home and doing Dungeons and Dragony stuff, and having a lot of fun, and spending some time with the kids, and having great time at home. So with my wife as well.
Looks like you have a tent behind you, so.
Yeah, well, that's well. I really discussed it with my wife. I don't know. Whenever I say wife, it always starts sounds so strange. You know, my partner is so strange. Well, anyway, it's a white sheet behind me with this beautiful Great Shabuov map, which I keep adding to, because it's a very old drawing of a map that I did 20 years ago, and I'm now refreshing it over the old one, and I'm really liking it, but it takes a long time, and I think I just want a cool banner for as a background, something printed on white, and that I can easily hang around the pole that keeps up the upper part of the sheet. Or
I really like the map.
Sorry?
I really like the map behind you. Jasper is our DM, and he always makes the greatest maps. We always look in full in awe and wonder when a new map appears on the table, and we can that we can explore.
I'm doing my best, indeed.
We travel a lot to new locations just to see Jasper draw new maps. So
yeah. Well, I'm trying to make an Instagram thingy out of that. Thingy again. It's already in chat. I like the word thingy. I don't know what it is. Anyway, but I have so many maps that I draw little parts of when I'm drawing, that I never finish one. And if I finish one, I cannot always post it, because my characters will get to that place and might follow me on Instagram. So when I finish this one, it will probably be pretty easy to enter it to the Instagram, because they have seen this map, my players, from a time long past. I of course still play with them, but the adventure was finished in 2002 or something. So that's they will probably like it when it's been redrawn, and I'm getting a lot of positive commentary about it. But now we're talking about maps. What were we talking about? Good to have you on.
Lord.
How are you? Oh, how are you? You asked me how I am. Well, this is how I am. I think you just came back from a holiday or something.
yeah, I came back from a holiday. We spent a holiday in the Netherlands. We didn't want to go abroad with all the Corona, COVID measurements being taken in all the other countries. So we just went to the Netherlands, went to the coast, a couple of days on the beach, a couple of days in Amsterdam, a couple of days in a vacation park. So we had a blast.
It's all within 300 kilometers of each other within the Netherlands. So. You even got a 10.
I'm a darker shade of white.
Darker shade.
White now. my wife looks like she's been on summer holiday for 4 weeks, but I'm a darker shade of white, and I'm very proud.
Oh man, yeah. Well, because I had quite, I didn't have that much questions a day ago or so. I thought that I would ask you one about. Hey Erik, how do you keep your hair in shape like that? You know, but I talk about that for about 10 minutes. But see, this is what happens because this is the show where we talk empty. We talk void. We're literally talking void right now, and that's so funny because we're 11 minutes in, and nothing has been relevant so far, and yet it is because we are having fun already, right?
Yeah, and
right.
Yeah, and it's a half an hour format. We do this for 20 minutes.
Yeah, imagine that when we first aired, I thought it was going to be a half-hour format. I think the last one ran 1.5 hours or so. So yeah, let's stop that this evening. No, I don't know if we will, but let's just have fun and let's do our thingy. So with that, we are going to the experience so far. And when I'm talking about the experience so far, I'm of course talking about the Precipice of Dreams, as well as our journey into going online with this. So how is your experience so far, Erik?
Very positive. I've been enjoying the Precipice of Dreams more than I thought. I've never been one of Roger's players yet. I've always been a player of Jasper. Jasper is our DM. So I was really looking forward to seeing Roger DM, and he's passing all my expectations. So really loving that. Really love making.
Were your expectations then quite low, or were they?
No, they were not low, but they are on par with you, and that's a compliment to Roger. So.
Oh well, thank you as well. Then, yeah.
But I really love seeing Roger DM. I'm really having fun with the adventure. Really having fun making artwork for the adventure and doing all the other stuff behind the screens with you guys. And looking forward to our next session. So I think there will be a lot of fuss in the next session.
Probably. We are good at that, I think. Well, you triggered me by saying that Roger is surpassing all of our expectations, which is not to say I know Roger for a long time and I've played in his campaigns for a long time. But I have to say that in the most positive way, he's surpassing my expectations as well, because it's so different than his normal style. I don't know how to say this. It is meant as a true compliment because I'm enjoying myself so much on this adventure and having so much fun with all of the guys, and we're experiencing such strange things at such an increased rate at which I thought it would start. So every session really triggers a new kind of emotion and everything.
Destruction, conflict.
Yeah. Sneaking around. We'll get to that soonish, I think. In the next question, you can wait for the next question to start answering that part. And then there, of course, is us as a group who is doing this, and I'm enjoying that as well. Not to say that some things really need. Well, we're doing this for the first time. We really have to discover how things should go and what the dynamic is between us as players and as characters. That's quite new. I think it's settling in a positive way. But what I truly think is that 2.5 hour episodes are really short. And at the same time, it's on a Monday evening, so so we've discussed it. I think I talked about this with Roger as well in the last episode of Talking Void, and it's that we will not keep to our end time if we are all feeling that we need to continue. Although we still strive towards 2.5 hour sessions, but oh man, sometimes I just I think that at every possible session up to now, I was hoping that we could play longer. So that's a good sign, I think.
Yeah, that's the same here. But I do think that we have good cliffhangers thanks to this shorter format, because we always end on a high and then we go to the next session, and yeah, that's a good thing, I think.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I don't know if it's a coincidence or Roger planned this meticulously, but it always ends on a very exciting cliffhanger.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the last one was a pretty cool again. And
Yeah,
as we
the one
started the
before that.
session, yeah, I think that we're ending it on a sort of high note, and we're starting it again on a high. And that's the thing, which I think is pretty different about doing an online campaign.
Mhm.
In this way, is that I'm really, how do you say? I know that we are playing for an audience, and so I really, when we end a session and we start a new session, the 2 weeks in between, I can really explore how Bowen will react and what will be important to tell our viewers at the start of a session.
Mm-hmm.
Because I know that when we ended, not the last session, but the session before that we said, how are we ever going to be a party? You know, that was a big question that came out of that one. And then last session, I think we started it quite well and went on our route again.
Yeah, I really loved how we didn't end the conflict, but we resolved it in a kind of way that made it acceptable for the characters to move on from this point and, yeah, maybe talk about it later.
Yeah, I think so as well.
Because Bowen's feelings are hurt, I know, and Bowen's belief in Sir Gunther, but especially in Thomas and Atleaf, is on very thin ice, I think, at this moment.
Well,
Well, Atleaf can do anything to Bowen.
thank Adon for solving then.
Yeah.
With his
Bowen is,
stupid.
Bowen is really the glue that keeps his party together at the moment.
Yeah, it's because he's so lighthearted and
He's
so
lighthearted,
accepting.
yeah, accepting, and because of Solwing's, yeah, I don't want to say ignorance, but I couldn't find the correct English word for it. But because of his naivety,
Yeah, is it naivety? It's open-mindedness, I'm guessing, because he
yeah,
really.
open-mindedness. That's maybe better. Because of his open-mindedness, he doesn't understand the conflicts yet, and yeah, he just tries to to see the positive things in everything.
Yeah, maybe we should call it positivity, not even open-mindedness, but positivity, accepting the thing the other says in the most positive way. I think is what he does. So compliments to Solwing. Don't know if he's in chat, but we might see him confer this to him later or whatever. Because we've already started our journey towards our first topic of the evening, of maybe the second, let's discuss the previous episode. So what I've put down is no, not like that, sorry. We discussed Thomas's arc the last time you were on the show. A lot has happened since those humble beginnings. Let's discuss last episode. Yeah,
let's. What do you want to know?
What do I want to know? Well, Thomas. No, let's start by just discussing last episode, because I think we already started discussing it because we are so enthusiastic about last episode, I think. Which is, of course, because Michel wasn't there, and that made a big difference. I so hope he's watching now. Anyway, We started the episode with
with big conflicts.
a big conflict, a scene at a table with some drinks, I would say, which was really interesting. How did you experience it as Erik, Günther, and as Thomas, especially?
Yeah, that's always a question. How do I experience it as one character or the other? As a player, I really enjoyed it because I could play the wiser, older Gunther that tried to keep a steady level head, and the Thomas, who was clearly I can't use swear words, but he was really messing with your mind at the moment. But Thomas also sees that he must because last episode Thomas really saw I cannot mess with Bowen too much because we need him as a healer and he's part of the group, and he already
But need him
apologized.
as a healer first. Is that my understanding of the situation? We need him as we have the resident quirk in our party, and he has to heal me. So I better be polite about everything.
But Thomas is not a big fan of Bowen at the moment. That's one thing.
Which I totally do not understand because because of stuff.
No, but the thing that we saw in last session, and I hoped I made it clear, is that Thomas is very protective of Gunther, and due to Thomas's itty bitty dark past, he might resolve to other measures than knightly honors to achieve his goals.
Yeah, I think that became quite apparent, not in last session, but in both sessions, I'm guessing, because intimidating someone and then denying you've done it and then going on an adventure with them again I don't know even what your goal was, so you might not even tell me this, but it was different, as they say in San Andreas.
But how did you experience it at Bowen? Because you did the nervous part very well. It was spot on.
Yeah. So Bowen is an intelligent man, pretty intelligent and pretty wise in a way. So Bowen knows something has to be done to go on with this group if he even wants to, but for now this is his group, so he is all for finding a way to continue, and that is a thing where his normal rational behavior, because you might not see the things he does as rational all the time, but he is quite rational, really took the upper hand in deciding that the way to resolve this is by taking some decisions with a couple of us at the table, because otherwise it would become pretty problematic. And he really, because just beforehand, not only did he get lied to by you or by Thomas, who said that he didn't do this at night, but he got also he was confronted by Oldrief about his behavior as well, and Günther, he was kind of the thing that everything resolved about, and I think Günther was pretty nice about it even. And then Solwing was a bit in the middle of this. He didn't say that Bowen was right or that Oldrief was right or Thomas was right, but he didn't really make Bowen feel that he could rely on Solwing to really explain what had happened to him. So he was thrown off by that, by the whole conversation. Then his bird started yapping, and everyone was entering the inn, and it was new surroundings, and he was so distraught at that moment that he couldn't cope anymore. But when he entered the inn and his bird got a bit more silent and Altlief wasn't there, and he had some time to think about what should be done, he composed himself. But as you said, he is very nervous still inside. It's behind his calm surface. He nothing is resolved right now. He is having some pretty big inner turmoil. Yeah,
probably might.
Yeah, and I think it's because the people in his past are way nicer than the people he's met right now.
And Thomas likes to keep it this way.
Yeah.
Now we will find out how it resolves in the next couple of sessions, because I really loved to do the darker side of Thomas, and made him appear not as a nice silent squire that just dumbly followed Gunther around, but I really wanted to give him his own character. And this opportunity, you just gave it to me on a silver platter. You were just kept berating Sir Gunther, and it was kind of forming in my mind at the beginning of the session. And the more you just berated Gunther, the more I came
which I didn't do. But well, agree to disagree. Go on.
Agree to disagree. But Thomas is very defensive of it, and Thomas's reaction is a reaction that I wished I would have done, not with the threatening of death part, but I wish I've stood up for myself more in my own past. And Thomas was a really, Thomas was a really nice way to express that feeling, like, okay, this is to all the bullies in my past. This is what I would have wanted to say. So I drawn a little bit of my past experiences and just put it all in one rant that Thomas just dropped at your doorstep.
Wow, that's pretty impressive. I think it touches on the thing we talked about with Jin on Talking Void, where we what we are doing when we entering Dungeons and Dragons is not as much fleeing, but having a world that we can control, and where we can express ourselves in a way as we might sometimes want to express ourselves. So thank you for telling us that specific thing, because I loved it. I think it's great that you did it as Thomas. And when I say I now, it's Jasper, not Bowen. I think that made for great drama, but it also tells us something about how things can resolve when you sometimes have a little confrontation in your life, instead of looking the other way or just letting it wash over you. So, yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, and in my younger years, I let everything wash over me. So, Thomas was really kind of a revenge to all my bullies, all the things that happened in the past, and it was kind of nice to do it. It felt very gratifying to do it, and I'm sorry your character was the target of it, but you gave me ample opportunity, man.
So now I'm asking myself, was Bowen bullied?
No, he was not bullied. Bowen was the bully in Thomas's eyes.
Oh, okay. Oh, wow, yeah. I was never the bully as Jasper. That's what I know.
No, this is not the
I
first time.
know, but
I
now I
know you
understand.
killed my character in your campaign 3 times, so there's a lot of anger on that part.
But you keep standing up, so that's the other thing.
But I
And
keep standing up. So.
sometimes you're more metal, and in the literal sense, and then the other times you have a core inserted in your chest, and then your skin becomes. Well, anyway, yeah. But I always I like what you said. In my youth, I always protected the ones who got bullied. Really was this kind of protector guardian type of kid until I got, well, not really bullied, but sidetracked or didn't. Well, people around me were growing up faster than I myself. I think for a couple of years, and I couldn't keep up with that, so I felt a bit lonely. But I've never been really bullied. But in those times when in the what is it called? Basisschool. I can't. Elementary school.
Primary school or elementary school?
Yeah, elementary school. So I always protected the ones who got bullied. So I have a big thing against bullies as well. Yeah. So there's a question in chat. Why does Thomas see this group as a party? Aren't they just passengers on the way?
Oh yeah, but if you are traveling with the group, you need to have each other's backs, and that's why Thomas sees this as a party. I just say party as a convenience word because it's the way we talk in D&D. But we are dependent on each other at the moment, so might as well look after each other then on the way.
Yeah, I think Bowen feels the same way as well. Not much there except for those basic ideas of a party yet. Might still come to fruition. I don't know. Hopefully, as a Jasper, I'm hoping it will. But
I do like to see how you incorporated your character your character experience in combat. So the first combats were like I'm cooking and I'm doing my own thing, and oh no, combat is happening, but I'm still cooking, and now you are you are your own authority in combat. And that to fall back on the party bit, you could see last combat that there was more cohesiveness in combat than the last couple of sessions.
yeah, I think so as well. Actually, there is a question for me later on where I will answer this more to what was really happening there with Bowen. But look, we all know that you get into the groove of things when you are attacked on a daily basis or get into combat in some way. There was, of course, a big difference with this combat and previous encounters, because there we were never the initiator, and in a way we were in this one, although not explicitly so. Bowen has to understands that he has to be aware in such situations that seconds might start to matter. But how I resolved it, I will talk about in when the question comes up.
Okay.
It's interesting that you asked me that question, because it got asked about Bowen, because it was a bit different this time, wasn't it?
It was very different this time. Yeah, you caused a fire everywhere, and Thomas, kind of took advantage of your warning shot by pushing the half orc into the fire that you just.
That one. And that's the cool thing about playing Dungeons and Dragons. Bowen might be abhorred, although I don't think he really was, but Jasper just loves it. Everything that happened last session. So we had the starting discussion. We of course went to the warehouse, and then we had the part where we went back to the inn and you went exploring. I think those are the four main parts in a way. Or you could divide going to the warehouse and at the warehouse into two parts, but I don't think that's really a thing. So we got to the warehouse, we explored a bit, and then we got into this confrontation. But I think that the interesting thing is about the journey up to that point is that is what you noticed is the awkwardness between us, right?
Yeah, the awkwardness between not us as players, but the group.
Yeah, Thomas and Bowen especially, I think.
Yeah.
Because
yeah,
I
but
think
I really wanted to explore that because I thought if we take Gunther with us, and Gunther is not keen on fighting at the moment. He just had a couple of confrontations on the road, and he just needs to rest his bones before he can get back in the fray. So he stayed at the inn for that reason, and it gave me an opportunity to explore the Bowen Thomas part a bit because we need to resolve that somewhere during the road, and this was one of the first parts what I wanted to explore the awkwardness between them.
I as well. So that went. I think we both felt that.
And I really love the way Solwing played the mediator, just standing between us and watching
just
your
the three
back.
of us. Yeah,
I was watching your back also.
Yeah, and Bowen knew that as well. He knew that you wouldn't backstab him or anything. Although that might be part of your class description, I don't know. Anyway. That's not called backstab anymore anyway, so... Yeah.
Can't promise anything, but let's go forward.
Yeah. So we had the combat, and then we went our separate ways, and so what went through my head when we were going to the inn is, oh man, there are so much decisions that have to be made before we can do anything, because Bowen has to resolve what honor means, what being faithful means, and moderation, and all those tenets as dictated by Adon. And we have to have a discussion with Gunther about what's going to happen, and then there's the Oldreef part, and then he still has to cook, and then and all these things went through my head. The cooking was resolved pretty quickly. That was a thing.
Because there was
Oldreef didn't open her door, and I just love the cooking thing, but no, okay. But Oldreef part was resolved pretty fast, and then I thought, oh, now we really have to get into this discussion about all the ins and outs of why you shouldn't infiltrate the warehouse and everything. And then I watched through Kiss's eyes, and the camera panned towards you, and man, did you make a good choice there. I have to say, and that really was all that was needed for the whole evening, I think. My compliments to you taking charge of the rest of the evening, because it was pure D&D, I think.
Well, the number one rule in D&D is never split the party, and we did it 4 or 5 ways now, so I don't think we're playing very good D&D at the moment, but
we're playing excellent D&D, man. We're doing all the tropes.
The thing that Thomas is doing now is tied to his past, and he used the going back to the inn and discussing everything, and that you guys should discuss everything, and he would keep an eye out. He just used it purely as an excuse for him to go exploring by himself. And try to keep you guys out of the collateral damage that might ensue should things go awry or the wrong way.
Right ways.
So it was a very exciting and thrilling part to do, because my dice rolls on some parts, the sneaking parts, were all spot on. I just hit 17s, 18s, and 19s on the rolls. I was on a roll. But
Yeah.
as soon as I needed to open the lock, it was every time I failed my rolls, and it was a disaster. So it really kept the tension in the scene, and especially when the three I call them ruffians for now, when they entered in the room that I was in, and I went in the hiding place. Man, that was a tense moment
Yeah.
because everything goes wrong. It could go wrong at that point.
Did you experience it as a really tense moment while you were doing it?
Yeah, very tense.
Yeah.
Because as soon as Roger told us, yeah, you hear the two guards, their footsteps are going outside, and you hear them conversing with each other. Um, he left out the bit, and I just forgot her name, and Roger will berate me about that. But the female ruffian, I didn't hear her leave, so I didn't know if she was listening at the door or if she was coming back by other means, and that really made it very tense because, yeah, I could be walking into a trap right now.
Yeah.
But
Truly.
against my
Yeah.
better judgment, I just went for it.
Yeah. So I was looking at my chat and looking up a part that I've really thought described this. Esner says, I think I said it before, but I really liked that series of roles. Highlighted how things could have been quite different and added a very good amount of tension. Which I thought was great because you were on a roll. Everything was going great on the things that really mattered. But he says it could have been quite different, and I think that's that's the point about having a successful evening of roles in contrary to an unsuccessful one.
Absolutely.
So
If I misrolled on my sneaking anywhere during the whole investigation part, yeah, the guys and lady downstairs could have heard me, and things would have, yeah, gone a very other way than this.
yeah,
So it was very awesome how it all played out.
yeah, yeah, and then you even went into the crate.
Yeah, that was also great. Yeah, I love that scene, and especially the moment that Roger said, "And that's the end of the session."
Yeah.
Man, I was on the tip of my chair at that point. I really wanted to know who the other guy was.
Yeah, and you're standing there, and there's no
Yeah.
way but left but a confrontation. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but I think I am. Yeah, I just want to know what will happen, but it's in 3 weeks.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
a long time, man.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man.
And I'm really looking forward the next time Bowen looks through Kiss's eyes, because Kiss is still with me.
Yeah, well, I can reveal a bit about that. Bowen is expecting when he looks out of Kiss's eyes that you're just standing in an alley. So
Yeah.
he isn't going to constantly check on you because that doesn't pop into his mind that would be an option that you're somewhere inside of that warehouse.
He still trusts me.
No, it's just that, well, he does not trust you. He trusts the way of the world. And of course you don't follow that path yourself, but he thinks that well, he might if he finds out that what you've done, he might consider one of Audrey's other books to help him on the way about understanding what just happened. But for now, it doesn't come up. He doesn't think that way. So yeah, pretty
Yeah, really,
interesting.
really, I'm really interested in how that will play out. But
Yeah, I'm
we'll have to
wondering.
wait for 3 weeks.
3 weeks,
3 weeks.
man. Yeah. Of course, if someone in chat would be willing to donate 10,000 euros, we will certainly play for you next week. Right?
For 10,000 euros, I will be playing without my clothes on. It will be yeah. Oh wait, I didn't say that. No.
Don't give the bullies calls. Anyway, let's go to the next question because I think we've discussed it in a broad way because there were so many small things that we could talk about. But yeah, so question number 1 from Sir Skankerod. Since Thomas is clearly not a standard fighter, it's his word, not mine, and seems to have a somewhat troubled past, what motivated Gunther to take up such an unlikely squire?
Yeah, that's. I don't know if I will be revealing too much if I say anything, but Gunther took. I think I told this during the sessions, but it was during the prelude, I think. So I can explain it a bit. Gunther found Thomas when he was hunting in the woods, and Thomas was lying there with an wounded, unconscious, and Gunther just took him inside his house and he patched him up, healed him up, and then he said, "You don't have to explain anything about your past, but would you be interested in being my squire?" That's the short gist of it. So
Is he this kind of guy who takes a liking to a lost cause? Then I
yeah,
mean,
you might say that. Yeah, you might say that because clearly you know by now that Gunther is not he is by the end of at the end of his knightly career at the moment, and a lost cause might give him a good ending or give him a good he might finish his career on a good note with that.
yeah, yeah. I think that's an interesting path to explore as well. I always like those. You say those relationships in series or movies or whatever. So let's explore that some more. Yeah.
Yeah,
But
and I don't want to tell any more about it, but there are a lot of character ideas in my head still with Gunther and Thomas that I want to explore in the coming adventure.
yeah. Yeah, so that's the short and the long answer to that question. Yeah. Okay, let's go on to the next question then. And that's the question that I was talking about. Donkere Rups says, I'm curious as to why Bowen resorted to intimidation instead of talking to the ruffians. It seemed out of character.
Okay.
And I think you said something along the same lines, or maybe not out of character, but about another kind of behavior than your than Bowen normally shows. So what went through Jasper and Bowen's mind at about the same time is that we just had this conflict where Bowen was still looking to see if there were even on private property, which is a whole different thing on its own. But and then the fight broke out, and Bowen, well, he has had a couple of fights where there was in a way never a way out of it that was safe. So they really had to defend their own lives in those cases. Well, maybe not with in the end where the the thugs try to. So we now have bandits, thugs, and ruffians. You know, where the thugs try to escape with Sir Gunther's belongings. Maybe their lives weren't at stake, but even then, well, something had to be done. But the stakes are always pretty high, and Bowen sees these ruffians as people. Once they enter this aggressive stance, they might go for the kill, and to do. And it just is not done anymore to just take a step back and start discussing religion, or you know, what can you say in 6 seconds to the other guy to make him cool down. And so he didn't put anyone in the fire. He really did two actions. He cast sanctuary on Solwyn to protect him, but he was aware of the magic that came with it, to see that he was protected, and then he summoned the flames, which is his cooking bonfire, you know, what he said, to simply warn them that they were dealing with people who could take care of themselves. And that's why I said I don't know if this is an intimidation per se, because I don't have an action left to spend on an intimidation, but I just wanted him to show to those people that please stop, because this will get messy in a way that it will get messy, because we have to defend ourselves, because we can't take a step back. And of course there's the option of talking to the other guys, but it hasn't helped us in any of the previous situations. It always escalated. So this really was Bowen's fast way of trying to come up with a new way to still resolve the combat peacefully, to just say van, let's not do this by intimidating, putting on a show. Maybe it should have been a performance check even, I don't know, by letting them know that let's stop it here. And maybe words or a passive way might have been better, but that's not how Bowen viewed it at that moment. So that's what's going to Jasper's and Bowen's mind at about the same time. How should we do this?
And Thomas really caught on to your intentions with the fire, so he pushed the thug into the fire because he knew that you put it there as a trap for the
Yeah, exactly. And that's why Solwyn broke sanctuary, and yeah, of course, that's how it was meant to play out. Yeah, I don't think that Bowen even cared that much about you doing that, because they, as hell, weren't intimidated.
No.
And seemed to stay aggressive. So, as part of the chain of events that led up to this combat, he almost expected it. At the same time, when the others came outside, I think that he got strengthened in his beliefs by the fact that they didn't kill us, and were aware of the fact that we were in a public place where people were passing us, and didn't kill us. Pretty glad about that, and I'm pretty glad we didn't kill any of them as well.
Yeah, because it was a public place, and yeah, we might have been incarcerated by the city watch. So
yeah, or hanged or executed. I don't even know what the rules really are about those things. But I'm pretty glad we got away with it this time, and I think that's a great example as well of how things can be done in Dungeons and Dragons. Is that the DM considers the rules of the city and knows how these ruffians, however wise, intelligent, stupid, or dumb they might have been, we don't know really, that they have this basic sense of the law of where they are. So we don't go murder hobo because we know we are restricted by the world we are living in. I don't myself have anything against murder hobos, but not in my campaigns. That's about the extent of it. Realistic actions calls for realistic punishment, right?
Yeah, they sure do.
Yeah.
But we've never played these kinds of campaigns, the murder hobo campaigns. Yeah, my own campaign might have is sometimes a little bit murder hobo, but that's another story for another day.
Let's talk about that another time then. But that's why I think that Bowen acted in character. So that's my answer, and I hope Donkere Rups likes my answer and is content with the outcome. He's not demon summoning is always frowned upon, says Mireneas, which is probably something about something over in the campaigner. I don't know, but it's a typical Mireneas reply, and I like it. Thank you. I am a generous viewer, says Donkere Rups, so I think he is content. So that's my view on the combat, and the fact that you push someone in the fire is great.
Yeah, right? I really wanted to take. I really wanted to take advantage of the opportunity because I do more damage with my sword at the moment than the fire damage would have done. But it just looked so cool, man. Just pushed a big dude in the fire. And it would have really been much cooler if the guy just stood his ground and I would just be like, oh god, it doesn't budge!
I was wondering what kind of class he had, because he seemed a bit barbarian, he seemed a bit or a brawler barbarian or a monk kind of thingy. So maybe if he had resistance, you might have done more damage by pushing him into the fire than you might have done with your weapon. But that's DM think while you're playing, and I try to keep away from that and just react. Yeah, which is interesting. Which brings me to a slight subtopic that I watch a lot of that other show, Critical Role, and I hope we get a community like them at some point, but they sometimes really get blamed for making the stupid decisions. And I think that's such a large part of doing these kind of things. Not the optimal, but the suboptimal option. You know, because it's just way more cool.
If you do everything by the book and if you do everything the way it's supposed to play out, I really like that's one of my players in my campaign says, I really like the rule of cool. If something would have been cooler just but isn't as effective as the most optimal thing you can do, just do the cool thing, man. It's much more fun. I played Warhammer for years and years on end, and I just bought units I wanted to see on the battlefield charging towards the enemy and get slaughtered by cannon fire, and it didn't matter to me that my guys just got slaughtered and I didn't have the optimal army. It just mattered to me I had a cool game where a lot of stuff happened, and that's the same way I play D&D. I really love it when someone takes an action just to ridicule someone, and it takes an action, but hey, it doesn't matter. I could have done an attack, but I ridiculed you during combat. Those are the memorable things. Not I did 20 damage with my sword. No, I pushed the guys into the fire and he had 8 damage. Okay, well, too bad. But I pushed a big orc into the fire. I mean, how cool is that?
Yeah.
And you put a bonfire just to make a point. I mean, that's cool. Not sending the guy on fire, just trying to make a point and using your divine magic to do it.
Truly. I like the same rule, although I might have been harsher in my earlier years as a dungeon master. Oh, how old I feel. But I have been playing this game about 28 years now, so I'm getting there. Um, Mireneus says as an explanation to the demon summoning, and I think that's where I misread him. We were talking about morality, but I thought we were talking about law, which is quite a different thing. But morality is a big part, and of course, then demon summoning is frowned upon. But I don't even know if it exists in this world, so I'm just glad I have a Fey familiar, that can happen in this campaign. Yeah. Yeah, there's a big difference, law and morality.
Mm.
A lot of times they're mutual exclusive to each other, even, although, maybe sometimes or a lot of times, I don't know. That's a question for another time. This is how I have to watch every talking void back and then see whenever I say this, I have to write it down so that I can do it in another show.
Enough stuff for the next episodes.
Yeah. So next question, because we're flying through our questions, not. Mireneas, since a karma doomsclock is ticking for Sir Gunther, what is your worst case scenario for his death? And then Baradine added, and his best.
I think his worst case scenario for his death, I think is at the moment, he wants to see that Thomas finishes his training and he has done some good at the end of his life. So I think it's tied to that. If Thomas screws it all up and Sir Gunther dies by then, that would be a worse death than if Thomas makes it as a good knight. That would be a good death. But also, Sir Gunther is has other concerns, and you will find out in later sessions. But there are other concerns for Sir Gunther. So, but I think the Thomas is a big part of his life right now, and also he sees his own mortality. And I think he just wants to see that Thomas will be successful.
So we have a philosophical, logical thingy that is happening here, which is, because we are talking in English, let's call it Santa Claus's beard, which is happening. Do you know it?
Nope, but go ahead.
So if I ask you, is Santa Claus's beard black or white? What will be your answer?
Santa Claus is a fictional character, so I don't know, but
that's a really good answer, because you would be saying white because
Santa Claus is real.
yeah. You skip to the part where we decide if his beard is white or black, but we first have to establish if Santa Claus is real for this question to be answered in the most proper kind of ways, and that's and of course he is real to all our viewers. But here it says, we have the question is, since a karma doomsclock is ticking for Sir Gunther, what is your worst case scenario for his death and his best? Let's talk about the doomsday clock that's ticking here. Is there even a doomsday clock ticking?
Well, for the viewers that paid close attention to Sir Gunther a couple of sessions ago, he during one of his coughing sessions, he coughed up blood. There may or may not be a doomsday, a coming death for Sir Gunther. But he is old by standards of this world. So, it might be 2 years, it might be 10 years before he dies, but the end of Sir Gunther's life is coming. It's a natural part of life, and So the Doomsday.
Yeah, but so is it 5 to 12 or is it 1 to 12, or is there not even a talk about if it's anything towards 12, and is it simply the rest of his life? I think that's an interesting thing, because I think that when we first started playing, we all thought, well, this guy is not going to survive session 2, but he has been with us for 8 sessions right now. Yeah, because 3 pre-game sessions and 5 official ones. And I've really started to think that he has to survive till the end. I don't know what the end will even be, or when the end will be, or
if there will be an end.
If there will be an end, yeah. So, doomsday clock, karma doomsday clock ticking. I'm so hoping there is no karma doomsday clock ticking, and that he's just this guy who keeps on surviving and has his best end or his worst end.
I think everyone just should watch all the shows and see how it plays out.
That's a good answer as well. So hopefully we answered Mireneos' question in the right way with this. And I didn't even ask Sir Skankerot if we answered it in the right way. I don't know if he's in chat anyway, because for some way I can't see who's in chat right now. I can only see the persons who are answering. And I'm still deciding if I should kick Vadrantis 732 before asking us if we want to have to buy followers, because we don't. We want to have honest followers, but please subscribe and follow. And do stuff. So time is a ticking. Albeit it not being a karma doomsday clock, we are well, time is ticking. So Sir Skankrot again, as a great fan of the art that you have made, also for other campaigns, what is the next big project we can look forward to? Well, that's obviously a question directed at me. No, it isn't. Go answer this beautiful question.
Yeah, the artwork I'm working on currently, well, I just had a 2 weeks vacation, so I didn't do a lot of artwork, but I will be working on an update to Bowen's artwork. Jasper and I discussed it a couple of times before. And yeah, you could tell what you think about the artwork, and that's what I will be changing.
He's a bit too jolly for me. He looks a bit too. There should be a bit more intelligence in his face. But, but that's everything. That's how he evolved while playing and everything. So it's little tweaks.
Yeah, I will be updating so Jasper's character art. Maybe put a little fear in his eyes for Thomas right now. So yeah, that might be a good idea. And after that, Roger, our dungeon master, is currently putting in requests for things that I cannot discuss, but I will be working on new battle maps, new cityscapes, new dungeonscapes, and I will be working on enemy art, so that you can use in the small tokens.
Cool.
So I already have a list of enemies that Roger wants to see drawn. I don't know what a Tarask is, but I will find out.
It's a level 1 encounter. We skipped that one.
Yeah, it will be session 9 or 10, I think so. But no, but I will be I will be supplying Roger with some artwork in a couple of weeks, next couple of weeks. So you will see it in chat, if see it in podcast.
Yeah, pick me to ask. So that's nice. Hopefully that answered a couple of questions too. I want to direct an answer to Donkere Rups, who says, aka Corona Kilos, which is interesting because I don't know if I talked about this in Talking Void, but I want Bowen to be to be a heavy-set man, because when I started, okay, I myself am quite a big man. Doesn't always show, of course, because. But anyway, when I started looking for art of fantasy characters that would serve as a means to an end for you to develop my character for, the only really big character you had was Friar Tuck, and almost all fantasy characters are these slim-built creatures, athletic, or I think are the idealistic versions of the people who play them. I don't know. And I especially didn't want that to be my character, because I feel that the dynamic of the world should be reflected in a way in a fantasy campaign as well. And because I am big myself, I don't want to be this thin friar that walks off his kilos as he journeys. He takes a journey towards the goal of the adventure. I simply want to be this big man because I feel comfortable playing such a person, and I think you don't see it too often in fantasy. You see it more often in villains, funnily enough, and then they are almost a bit dumb as well, except for those guys who have these three chins, are always laughing and have some kind of harem of ladies around them that they don't really treat that well. I want to be, this is really conscious. I want to be a model for a big man. It might sound strange, but I really don't want to be limited to smaller size archetype in this. And it sounds a bit, how do you say? It is a conscious decision, but it isn't made because you can't find it anywhere in a way. It's because the first thing that drove me to be in this, it's just because I had this image of Bowen. But then when I didn't find anything that supported this kind of character, I really thought it was pretty strange.
Yeah. You know what fictional character that came to my mind as soon as you described Bowen? Two fictional characters. One was Samwise Gamgee, who's also a bit heavier set than Frodo or Merry or Pippin.
Yeah.
And the other is Hug from what's the show called again? Voltron, the new animated series.
I haven't seen that one yet.
Okay, yeah, that's also a bigger, heavyset character. He is the jolly though intelligent fellow in the party, but he also loves to eat and loves to cook and loves to. So.
Oh yeah, it's really. Yeah.
Yeah, he really came to mind when you described Bowen to me.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's okay then, because well, the thing is, if you are a big man, you have to eat stuff, because otherwise you can't stay big, in a way, or you have some. I just want to be. There's no real reason why he's big, otherwise than the normal reasons. So I think you always come to that point, and being intelligent as well is, I think, can be. Well, it's for every man or woman, of course. So this is the combination I'm going for. But I will certainly be looking at Voltron. I started watching that once and I didn't really get into it that much. But I will do that.
It's a good show. The last season, I didn't agree with the last season that much, but the rest of the seasons, I think it has 6 seasons. It's a nice show. I love it.
Yeah. But So I don't want to be well, why isn't there another fantasy archetype that
No.
I don't want it to be but it's a conscious choice. Yeah.
Mhm.
He will stay back unless stuff happens. Yeah. So that's a side answer. And then we have Mireneos, iconic roleplay instead of showing some kind of slimmed down ideal. Well, this... Yeah, I don't want... It's not that the other thing isn't okay, of course, because that's okay as well. And there are quite a lot of reasons why people draw these slim fantasy characters. So that's okay. And it's not about an ideal. It's just... Well, let's not go into the psychology of that one, I think, because that's a whole... Oh, I should write down. A whole other topic, I think, but it's not one I want to discuss right now, because it's very difficult to get to the nuances. Is that an English word? I don't even know. Right, in such a case. Okay. And then we are going to our last question. And... that's a community question. And the question is, what do you like as a player in your adventures? Oh, did you feel you discussed your art enough?
Yeah, my artwork is discussed enough. You guys just go watch the next couple of sessions of Floyd Cast, and then there will be new artwork popping up. So now and again.
Okay. So, what do you like as a player in your adventures? Is the last question.
That's a question directed to you or me?
To us.
To us.
Well,
as a player in your adventure, so in all the adventures we play, or a podcast?
No. I think I searched the Reddit for stuff, and I mostly see the dungeon master parts about who don't understand their players, because everyone at the table seems to want something else out of an adventure. And I think it's a very good topic to discuss what you as a player want to experience at the table, and you have to be open and upfront about it, because otherwise the dungeon master might misread you. So it's another part of a discussion. You don't come... Well, I think you shouldn't come to a table where, maybe not at the first session, maybe at a later session, but you come to understand what each member of the table wants out of an adventure.
Yep.
And then I started to asking myself the question is, what do I want as a player out of an adventure? And I didn't have a singular answer to that question, because, as always, complicated. And we did a pre-session before we even started the Precipice. We did this question list about what we were expecting of this adventure. We did a Google thingy where you could answer thingy. And what do we want while playing? We want to have fun. That seemed to be the main thing. We want to have fun around the table. But what gives you fun is what the answer becomes when you don't know what fun is for a certain player. And so I said, and I'm having a lot of fun. So I was asking myself, why am I having a lot of fun? And I think the answer is because I get surprised a lot. And I'm really digging a good time with my friends. Playing this and having a story that is, well, unknown to us, which is logical, because we don't want to know the whole story up front, of course, but so surprise and having fun with friends is a large part of it. I think I have a lot of conversations with Roger where I can really talk with him about what I like and dislike. I think I told in the last Talking Void that I displayed as my character a lot of things I not primarily disliked about this adventure, but um, yeah, it was an epic story where I sometimes felt a bit uh, um,
Small.
no, without a choice.
Okay,
And
so
so I did that
railroad.
in railroaded. Yeah, but there's another discussion, railroad versus sandbox. But I expressed this as my character. You know, the my character experienced it as not being free to do what he should be doing, and that made up most of his role playing, was made it what was which was what made it fun for me.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I think that there are different things with different characters that bring me joy while playing at someone's table. But that's another type of fun I had there than what I'm having right now. So then I
No, you're having no fun at all.
no, I'm having a lot of fun. So yeah, what do you like as a player in your adventures? That's the question, and it isn't a simple one, I think. But
No,
what do you like as a player in your adventures?
what I like as a player in my adventures is play a character that is different from my previous characters. That's one thing that's important for me. I don't want to be playing the same character my whole life. So I've been playing Dungeons and Dragons for a long time now. I don't know how many years. 8 years with your campaign, and before that
Fine
I also
already.
dabbled in Dungeons and Dragons. So now and then. And I always play a different character. So I always want to explore what can I do with a new character. How can I make this character interesting for myself? How can I make this character interesting for my party? With your campaign, I play Wolfguard, who's sturdy, who is someone you can depend upon and trust upon, but also he was rash and does he takes actions before he thinks about actions before. Okay,
Consequences?
he takes his actions before he thinks about the consequences. Sometimes
Hmm.
that's what got him killed 3 times. So.
Truly. Yeah. So I'm punishing in
Yeah,
that way. I don't know.
no, you're not punishing. I'm doing those stupid stuff myself. But um, Wolfguard is a very dependable character, and with Thomas, I wanted to. Gunther is a character who is righteous but has his own views of the world and has experienced a lot and doesn't view the world all black and white. And he wants to be the moral compass, but he also has his own agenda. And Thomas is. Uh, Trying to learn to have a moral compass, but he has a dark past, and it sometimes gets to the surface. And I really like to play that. I really like to play the part of the light versus dark inside the character, inside this character. So those are already three very different characters from each other. And that's what I like as a player. I like to explore new characters. I like to explore the world our DM presents to us, and how can I move and how can I move within this world, and how can I find my own place in this world? How can I make a name for myself in this world? And that's what I would like as a character. I would like to explore that. I would like to explore that,
Okay, cool.
and also have a lot of fun with my.
Yeah, so it comes back to fun, you know.
Yeah,
How are you
fun is
having
the most
fun
important.
by
Yeah,
exploring?
fun is the always the most important thing. Uh, I do. We have your adventure, your the breach adventure, is a bit slow paced, but has a lot of discussions in it and a lot of um, philosophy in it, and a lot of are we doing the right thing, and everything we do has to be considered before we take action. And that's where Wolfguard sometimes goes wrong. But um, it's a whole different campaign from Roger's, and I do like that I play in two very different campaigns. I don't want to be playing the same stuff over and over again. So if I do 2 or 3 campaigns, I would like a little variation in my campaigns, and I do love that. Void Walkers is very different from Breach and vice versa. I love both campaigns and I love playing both campaigns. And my own
No,
campaign is very different from these 2 campaigns and that I run as a DM.
no. I've been considering those things as well. Maybe it's sometimes we need to test if we all want. From Irenaeus, it says feeling included, being part of the world and the story, being surprised, straightforward. Donker Rup says girls just want to have fun, which is mostly true, I think, as well. Or always. Question for another time.
Sure.
Yeah, it's okay. So I think that if we go any further with this question, we might go into deep philosophical conversation. So let's do that for another 101, or I don't know. But it was the last question. I think we did a whole lot of talking this evening, and I think it's time to go to the end of our show, if you don't mind.
I don't mind. I need to work tomorrow, so.
And so it says, because of the last time, it says, is this the end? I've put it in another order. Yes, it is, which probably means we'll keep talking. It's what I added, which is almost always true. But I'm hoping we can end it on a bit of a quicker note than most of the times. And that always starts by me saying I had a lot of fun.
Yeah,
Did you have a lot of fun?
Yeah, time flew by as we talked.
1.5 hour, man.
Yeah, it feels like we've been talking for half an hour now. So.
Yeah, so that's the original length of the show. So that's great.
Yeah, half an hour show spread over 2.5 hours.
Precies. Exactly. I hope chat had fun as well. We'll see some chats appear. We've got socials. I'm not going to repeat them all, but follow us. That's the most important thing. Tell your friends about us and see if they want to follow us as well. And yeah, man. Next show, Parallel Projections in 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
17th of August.
Looking forward to it.
Yeah. Michel will be starting. I will be coming by a bit later. And as always, thanks for the night, says Donkere Rups. I really love the show again. Great answers. And I think that we get more and more insight of now. We can start discussing our show more and more as we experience more and more, and we get into conversations that link up to other conversations that link up to other events and as well. And I'm starting to feel that we can really make a deep dive as this show progresses, which is still a bit of a funny show because having a post show after just 5, that started at the same time as a normal show is it's just for fun, and we love that some of you join us at these evenings, and we hope that for when all of our VODs will be on YouTube, that people would like to see this as well and get a sense of what's happening. But thank you for joining me again, Erik.
Yeah, thank you guys for watching, and thank you for having me.
My pleasure. And with that, let us go to the outro. See you all, socials and stuff. Have a great night, however you might spend it. And goodbye.